He was doing the thing for you and with you because in his mind, that's the way anyone shows love. Once you were married and living in your own house, he had expectations of what you would do if you loved him. You would keep the house clean, you would cook, and so on. In brief, you would do things for him to express your love. When he did not see you doing these things, do you understand why he would feel unloved? Mary's head was also bobbing now. I continued. My guess is that the reason you are both so unhappy in your marriage is that neither of you is showing your love by doing things for each other. Mary said, I think you are right, and the reason I stopped doing things for him is because I resented his demanding spirit. It was as if he was trying to make me be like his mother. You are right, I said, and no one likes to be forced to do anything. In fact, love is always freely given. Love cannot be demanded. We can request things of each other, but we must never demand anything. Requests give direction to love, but demands stop the flow of love. Mark broke in and said, He's right, Dr. Chapman. I was demanding and critical of her because I was disappointed in her as a wife. I know I said some cruel things. I understand how she could be upset with me. I think things can be turned around rather easily at this juncture, I said. I pulled two note cards out of my pocket. Let's try something. I want each of you to sit on the steps of the church and make a request list. Mark, I want you to list 3 or 4 things that if Mary chose to do them would make you feel love when you walk into the house in the afternoon. If making the bed is important to you, then put it down. Mary, I want you to make a list of 3 or 4 things that you would really like to have Mark's help in doing things. Think, Mary, I would like you to make a list of 3 or 4 things that you would really like to have Mark's help in doing things which, if he chose to do them, would help you know that he loved you. I'm big on lists. They force us to think concretely. After 5 to 6 minutes, they handed me their list. Mark's list read, make up the beds every day. Have the baby's face washed when I get home. Put her shoes in the closet before I get home. Try to have supper at least started before I get home so we could eat within 30 to 45 minutes after I get home. I read the list out loud and said to Mark, I'm understanding you to say that if Mary chooses to do those 4 things, you will view them as acts of love toward you. That's right, he said. If she did those 4 things, it would go a long way in changing my attitude toward her. Then I read Mary's list. I wish she would wash the car every week instead of expecting me to do it. I wish she would change the baby's diaper after he gets home in the afternoon, especially if I'm working on supper. I wish she would vacuum the house for me once a week. I wish she would mow the grass every week in the summer and not let it get so tall that I am ashamed of our yard. I said, Mary, I am understanding to you that if Mark chooses to do those 4 things, Lisa said, Mary, I am understanding you to say, uh, Mary, I said, I'm understanding you to say that if Mark chooses to do those 4 things, you would take his actions as general expressions of love toward you? That's right, she said. It would be wonderful if he would do those things for me. Does this list seem reasonable to you, Mark? Is it feasible for you? Is it feasible for you to do those things? Yes, he said. Mary, do the things that Mark says seem reasonable and feasible to you? Could you do them if you chose to? Yes, she said. I can do those things. In the past, I have felt overwhelmed because no matter what I did, it was never enough. Mark, I said, you understand that what I am suggesting is a change from the model of marriage that your mother and father had. Oh, he said, my father mowed the grass and washed the car, but he didn't change the diapers or vacuum the floor, right? Right, he said, you don't have to do those, you understand. If you do them, however, it will be an act of love to Mary. What we do for each other before marriage is no indication of what we will do after marriage. And to Mary I said, you understand that you don't have to do these things, but if you want to express love for Mark, here are 4 ways that will be meaningful to him. I want to suggest that you try these for 2 months and see if they help. At the end of 2 months, you may want to add additional requests to your list and share them with each other. I would not add more than 1 request per month, however. This really makes sense, Mary said. I think you have helped us, Mark said. They took each other by the hand and walked toward the car. I said to myself out loud, I think this is what church is all about. I think I am going to enjoy being a counselor. I have never forgotten the insight I gained under that china berry tree.